But why do you see that happening, one? But why do you think it's a good investment, two?
Well, I mean, I think just from the numbers standpoint and the stats, like you see it.
So they're saying there's a boom in numbers in the WNBA. We're going to read this article real quick. WNBA to lose $40 million in 2024 season. NBA won't see returns for years. What? What the fuck? What it do, what it do, what it do. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Run the Receipts. I am your host, Mr. Receipts. Today we're going to talk about a video from Caitlyn Clark. She won, I believe it's like Time Magazine Athlete of the Year. I don't know how, if it's just out of women, then yeah, I guess you can see it. But if you're going to do Athlete of the Year, in my opinion, every year a man should win that Athlete of the Year award. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about this video. She said a couple of things in here that I wanted to address. One of the main things was, basically her giving, a lot of props to the African American women, in the league or whatnot. So I just wanted to speak about that and a few other things. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Just really fortunate.
Yeah, Caitlyn is like one of the most humble people I know, because like when I tell you she's changed the game, we have the Atlanta Dream as the hometown team in Georgia. They usually play in an arena about 6,000 people. When Caitlyn Clark came to town, they moved them to where the Atlanta Hawks play, which is like 20,000 people. It sold out because she was playing there.
You get a delayed reaction. Half the crowd is probably asleep, but I will give her props on that. I've seen her, and I'm a big college basketball fan, not so much pro, whether it be NBA or WNBA. But I will admit that she was exciting to watch, in the college arena for a female. So she did her thing. She brought a lot of excitement to the league, something different. But I will say, back in the day when I used to really watch, college basketball and stuff like that, I knew you had before her, you had your Diana Taurasi's, you had your Breanna Stewart's, and I'm just naming, the white athletes, and I'm doing that for a reason. But, you had a lot of female basketball players that brought excitement before her. But yeah, she did bring something new to the table. So yeah, I'll give her that. She was fun to watch.
The number of Indiana Fever fans I saw in young girls and the way they were lighting up, I mean, you have represented something so special for the sport, but you've drawn eyes to a game that you've always grown up loving. What does that mean to you?
It's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around because I'm so focused and so competitive, and I love the game. I love playing. I love being in front of the fans. But over the course of probably the last 2.5 years, it's all kind of changed where, it's hard to get a ticket whether we're at home or whether we're on the road. And I don't want to say it's something you get used to because this hasn't been normal for women's sports, but it's becoming normal, and it's becoming what's going to happen for not only women's basketball but every women's sport. It's going to be hard to get a ticket.
Like they're saying, when she was going to different cities or whatnot, yeah, the crowds were sold out, for the most part. They might cover the upper deck or whatever and just use the mid to lower deck, but yeah, the crowds were packed for whenever the Indiana Fever came into town, which is the team that she plays for. But for the rest of the league, it was the same as usual. And I'm going to show an article that actually proves that. If you want to go back from the beginning of the league all the way up until now, they're still losing a lot of money. Now, she probably saved them $10 million because, she sold out everywhere that she went. Let's continue.
Claim it.
So I think for myself, it's special to see those young girls and those young boys that bring signs or are with their...
And that's what I wanted to that's what I wanted to touch on, one part of it. And a lot of y'all, hold on, before I even continue, don't get offended by the video because 99% of y'all have never been to a game, nor will you ever go to a game. 99% of y'all don't even know any basketball players that's in the WNBA, nor can you name a team. So don't be fake, offended or whatnot.
Do you think women's sports should get paid more, get more recognition? What do you guys think?
For sure, we deserve equality, so
definitely should.
On topic of women's sports, can you name any WNBA teams?
Women's sports just like don't get as much publicity or as much attention as men's sports.
What's the WNBA team that plays here in New York?
Oh, I have no idea.
I mean, women deserve equal pay. They do equal amounts of work.
Can you name any WNBA players?
No, I can't. I don't like sports a lot. Yeah, I don't know.
But I think you could probably name some NBA players, right?
I could, and I think that's because it's a lot more publicized.
Who's your favorite men's basketball player? Do you have a favorite basketball?
Stephen Curry.
Stephen Curry, okay. Do you have a favorite women's basketball player?
I forgot her name.
So do you think we should apply that to the NBA and the WNBA too?
They're both playing the same sport. Women are equal to men, so I don't see why not.
Can you name any WNBA teams or WNBA players?
The New York Liberties.
That's right, yeah.
That's about as far as I'm gonna go with WNBA.
Can you name at least like any players, any WNBA players?
Damn, and I know one. Off the top of the head, it's not gonna come off.
You know any WNBA players?
No, I really don't. I mean, like, I know their faces, but I'm terrible with names.
What about you? Can you name any of them?
I could either. I'm just as bad. I have terrible memory, so.
What about the WNBA team that plays here? You know, are you guys New Yorkers?
I am a New Yorker, but I didn't even know.
And the Liberty plays
NYC, right?
Great.
Yeah.
So can you name 5 more teams?
Oh, I don't know.
Favorite men's basketball player?
I think Shaq is really funny.
Who's your favorite women's basketball player?
Someone on the Utah's women's basketball team. We're from Connecticut.
So you guys can name one NBA player, I'm guessing, right? You guys can do that.
Name an NBA player, yeah.
Can either you name a WNBA player?
No, I cannot name a WNBA player. I can name women's soccer players.
Give us a few women's soccer players then.
What's her name? Oh, Rapinoe. Hope something. That's about it.
One who's trapped in Russia right now. I forget her name. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That's right, yeah. I'm gonna give you her first name and let's see if you can get the last name. Ready? Brittany.
Spears.
Not a basketball player, but good try. Who's like a famous basketball player that you know of, a men's basketball player?
I mean, all I can think of is Michael Jordan, to be honest.
But the hard question is, can you name a women's basketball player?
No, I actually can't.
But I was gonna say, as far as the young boys, unless it's your mother playing on the court, or that's your auntie or your cousin, or some kind of family member or a close extension of the family, I don't know why you would take your son to a WNBA game, especially if you have an NBA team in your city. And the reason why I say that is, if you're gonna aspire your son to be anything and be the greatest, take him to the NBA and let him watch those men, because he is going to grow up from a young man, and that's where he's going to learn a lot of his skill sets from watching the best players in the league in the NBA. So taking him to a WNBA game, unless the tickets is dirt cheap, but still, you take your young man, you take him to an NBA game and have him aspire to be that, because the WNBA is nothing but women that are aspiring to be men. And again, I have an article for that we're going to read also. The reason why you have the WNBA is because you have the NBA. The reason why you have women's college basketball is because you have men that's playing basketball. So even they're aspiring, the women are aspiring to be men. So instead of taking your little boy to a women's game, take him to the NBA if you're going to take him to any game. But let's continue. Stop, and please do not get offended.
Or mom or dad or with their friends, like that's a memory that they're going to share for forever. I remember my first WNBA game, one of the best memories of my childhood, and I think very influential in wanting to be a professional basketball player, wanting to be a great person, having those people to look up to and want to be like one day. So I just try to embody that every single day, and I feel like I have good perspective on, like, basketball isn't my everything. Like, yeah, I love it and I get to do it, and it's given me a lot of really great opportunities, but at the same time, win or loss, I feel like I try to be the same person.
What would you say? We've also seen like a boom in investment. Shout out Lisa, you want to come invest in the WNBA? We got you, girl. We can hook you up.
She wants to buy a team. Woo!
Yeah, come on through. Come on, girl. But why do you see that happening? One, but why do you think it's a good investment? Two?
Well, I mean, I think just from the numbers standpoint and the stats, like, you see it.
So they're saying there's a boom in numbers in the WNBA. WNBA to lose $40 million in 2024 season. NBA won't see returns for years. It says the WNBA National Basketball Association is set to lose $40 million this season, and the National Basketball Association won't see any returns from the league for the foreseeable future, according to the New York Post. And this is from Yahoo. But the one from the New York Post, it actually even mentions that some of the owners, and I believe they might be NBA owners as well, who had bought into the WNBA, and it talked about how the owners are pressing the league, the NBA league, about when are we going to see our return, because we've invested into the WNBA and we're not seeing any money. And they're saying that you're not even going to see any money for the foreseeable future. So when these women talk about how it's booming, well, like I said, you have her selling out, but the rest of the league is still the same. Like, I can't even tell you who won the championship last year. Shoot, if anybody knows in the comment section, let me know. But they lost $40 million. So and they lose money every single year. Again, they were predicted to lose 50, but they end up losing 40. But that doesn't seem like you're gonna recoup your money anytime soon. So when they say it's booming, what are they talking about? Because I have no clue whatsoever. And I don't know anybody who's walking around with women, jerseys on and, talking about that's their favorite team or whatnot. If anybody knows in the comment section, like I said, let me know. But let's continue with the video.
Also, I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like, everybody asked me like where I think this is gonna go and what it's gonna be, and like I don't really have an answer, because if you would have told people this is where the WNBA is, 5 years ago, you would have said this is where we're gonna be now. People probably wouldn't have believed you, because they never thought that was possible. They never thought people would buy tickets. They never thought we'd play on ABC. Never thought we'd be on ESPN. They never thought it'd be sold out arenas, or little kids wanted to wear WNBA jerseys, whatever it was. So I think it's hard to say where it's going to continue to grow. I think the smartest thing would be to get in now, because the price is only going up.
The price is going up.
Yeah, and the prices are going up, like the ticket prices or whatnot. I was speaking to my brother about it, and I told him, I'm like, yeah, the star athletes, the main ones, they want a bump in their pay grade. So this past year, the stars got a big bump in their pay grade, but at the same time, where's the money coming from? Because if you're losing money every year, who's paying it? And that's probably why the owners, they're doing this, because, and this is my opinion, it's this wokeism that we have to deal with. Women want to be equal or whatnot, but you just have to hand them everything, and they don't have to put in the same time, energy, and effort, and so on and so forth as in previous days. So that's why you have a lot of the NBA covering, funding everything for them. But yeah, they want to bump in their pay grade. They want to make more money, and they're selling the tickets for a higher price, but no one's showing up. So it's like, who's covering that? And I don't know no person who likes to suffer a loss. So it's crazy to me that all these owners make millions or billions, not even millions, but billions and billions of dollars. And then you turn around and then you lose 30, 40, 50, $60 million a year on this quote unquote investment. But if you don't do that, if you don't lose out on the 50 million, they'll be marching and screaming and talking about it's unfair and we're being treated, unfairly, and it's not right because we want to be able to dribble a ball and, lay it up in the net and stuff. But no one's going to watch it. No one's going to pay for it. So now they're forcing different kind of companies to build into the commercials and things of that nature for the league, but it's costing them money in hopes of one day getting out of the red when it comes to making their profits. But as we just read, it said that they're not going to make any profit anytime soon. So it's like, where else can you do that? Where, you could just ask someone for money because you can't afford anything yourself, and then they have to continually invest in you every year and they lose money, but you still get to do whatever it is that you enjoy in life. If that be the case, man, shoot, send me some money over here. I can use it. Let's continue.
I mean, yeah, that's all I got, honestly.
Price is going up. But you're so right. Even like maybe say 6 years ago, where the Women's Basketball National Championship could only be caught on ESPN2 or ESPN, and now they're putting it on ABC on broadcast network, so everyone could see it in any home, whether or not you have cable. Yeah. That's changed the game.
So my first year in college, the NCAA tournament was during COVID. It was the first year they didn't have whip around coverage, where they actually aired an entire women's college basketball game in the NCAA tournament. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to think about. And the Fever, the team that I play for now, like, it was our 25th year. Like, 25 years is not that long, and Title IX's only been a thing for 50 years. So if you think about it, that's not that long of time. So it's really just.
But it's been around though, and let's just be honest. The fact of the matter is nobody cares. Nobody wants to watch it. If I have a choice to watch the NBA or the WNBA, I will watch the NBA. The thing about it is they're trying to force feed this down our throats because, you know, of the equality. And no one's saying that a woman is not equal in her own purpose and of how they're supposed to be. But if you're doing something that men already do and men do it better and we do it greater, you can't be mad at that. But the problem is they're force feeding this to us, and it's not like it wasn't in existence. So for them to be like, yeah, it's open on ABC and, you know, all these other, you know, channels or whatnot, well, shit, it's always been around. Just nobody was interested like that.
The beginning, so I'm excited about where it's going to continue to go.
Yeah, you know, your announcement for Athlete of the Year, like, tremendous, incredible positive feedback. That's what we've seen across the board. There's always going to be some negativity, and I feel like you have had to answer more questions than anybody about the intersectionality of race and gender and sexuality in sport, because of just who you are, and you represent the growth of this thing. And even today, earlier today, Megyn Kelly, she was saying that you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift Black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved. And I just want to know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, you know, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes.
See, and that's crazy to me because I remember when it first came out, and shoot, I could tell you the team that won it the first time. Off the top of my head, it was the Houston Comets. And forgive me, I can't remember the sister's name. Cheryl Swoops was one of them out of Texas Tech. See, I know a little bit about the WNBA. So I understand, and even the Maya Moore that she talks about. But in the league also during that time, you had Rebecca Lobo. I remember when Diana Taurasi first came in from UConn, just like Rebecca Lobo. Sue Birds, Brianna Stewart, Elena Deladon. So you have white WNBA players that contributed to the league also. So I don't understand why you just have to name just one group of people, because they all contributed to the WNBA and it was necessary. So when they just try to put it on just the Black players, man, that's the and some people will get mad at me or whatever, but sometimes our sisters can come off as bullies or hateful, and they'll pressure you into saying some certain things and doing certain things. And again, don't get mad at me. I'm from that community and I know how the sisters can be, and they can be bullies and force you into saying and doing certain things. And I'm not saying that that's the case here, but I done seen, you know, some of the things that's been going on in the background, and they hating on the sister. And it ain't just, you know, the sisters or whatnot. Even if you're a straight girl in the WNBA, there's pressure on that, and there's plenty of videos that anybody can go and take a look on. There's always gonna be pressure, and you know, women are catty. Women like to be catty. They argue with each other, they fuss with each other, they fight with each other, they don't like each other. Anybody that's been keeping up with just the Caitlyn Clark situation, everybody knows that, hey man, these sisters don't like her like that. Everybody talks about it. So I guess to calm everybody, to calm everybody down, you know, she has to come out and say certain things. But you ain't gotta lower yourself, man. Just be who you are and don't give a dang about what all these other people gotta say about it. Because it drives me crazy where you just gotta give props to them. No, this This league has women from every nationality across the board that have represented, you know, the league or whatnot. So it's not just a black thing. It's not just a black thing. Another thing that I want to talk about in this also is not only the race, but even a comment from this woman named Cameron Brink. She's from the LA Sparks or whatnot. I'm going to read this article. It's from Yahoo Sports. They interviewed her. One of the questions they asked her, it says, what part do you want to play in making the WNBA more iconic? Her response was, I could go way deeper into this, but I would just say growing the fan base to support all types of players. I will acknowledge there's a privilege for the younger white players of the league. So I read that and I'm like, okay, well, what's the privilege for the young white players that the black players aren't, you know, a part of? It says that's not always true, but there is a privilege that we have inherently, and the privilege of appearing feminine. So I'm like, what? Black women can't be feminine? Black women can't, you know, look the same way as you women look? Femininity is a choice. So if you decide to dress like a man and look butch, that's not a black or white thing. That's a you thing. That's your choice. Even if you are a lesbian or whatnot, it don't matter what color you are. You can still put on a dress and look feminine. So to make it seem like, you know, it's a privilege only given to white people, it's asinine. It's like, where are they coming up with this? What are they teaching in colleges and universities? I really think that they're not learning anything in these school systems other than how to be woke and be offended all the time. Let me continue reading. It says, some of my teammates are more masculine. Some of my teammates go by they, them pronouns. So some of her teammates are masculine and they go by they, them pronouns. Is she just talking about the black women? So the white women are only privileged to look feminine, but the black women go by pronouns and are masculine. That's an individual situation. That's not a whole WNBA issue where the fact that you got to now bow down and pander to these type of women because you don't want to offend them. That's the stuff that I get tired of, you know, seeing and hearing about, is that anybody who's not normal, you have to be not normal now in order for you not to offend them. You have to cater to their feelings so they're not offended, just so you can fit in. Because this is crazy to me. It says, I want to bring more acceptance to that and not just let people support us because of the way we look. So when she says, I want to bring more acceptance, that's why I told you earlier, like, don't take your sons to these basketball games, these WNBA games or whatnot. Let him see other men play basketball, because it's confusion what you got going on the court. And again, there's videos out there of other women talking about what be going on behind the scenes and how they try to make you lesbian and, you know, put you in those type of relationships. And if you have a husband or you get pregnant, how you get ostracized. All those videos is online. So just go to Google or go to YouTube and look them up. They're everywhere. So it says, I want to bring more acceptance to that and not just have people support us because the way we look. I know I can feed into that because I like to dress femininely. Because you're a woman, you're supposed to. But that's just me. I want everyone to be accepted, not just paid attention to because of how they look. Well, I'm gonna be honest, that's why most of us watch women's sports, because we like the way that y'all look. I don't watch volleyball because it's fun. I don't watch track and field because I just want to see y'all run around the track all day. That's not why men watch these sports. We watch them because of the way y'all look. If I want to watch sportsmanship and good sports, again, don't be offended. I watch men play basketball or men run track, or, you know, and I know there's some good track women, but I don't know them more than I know of the men. And if I do know the women that run track, it's because they're attractive. I'm just gonna keep it 100, you know, as we all should. That's the reason why I watch any of the female sports. And not because it's the greatest sport out there. It's not because it's better than, you know, the men's sports. So we got to stop being fake with each other and acting like, you know, the reason why we doing something is because we, you know, love and support it. Because if that be the case, they wouldn't be $40 million in the hole. So that's why I'm like, stop being, you know, fake around each other and just be straight up and honest and tell the reason why things are the way that they are. But yeah, these women are bullies, and they're gonna bully these people into debt, and they're gonna bully these women till there's no longer a WNBA team. Because instead of appreciating her skills, they have something to say. Like if you watch some of the highlights and, you know, some of the videos, you'll see that, you know, they was trying to hurt her during some of the games and stuff like that. So they gonna ruin their own product. They gonna sabotage their own deal. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. I really appreciate y'all. And until the next time, deuces.